welcome back to Ope Rocks. Today I'm going to take you along from start to finish as I cut a cabochon. We are going to start by cutting a slab off of a piece of crazy lace agate specimen that I have that I believe will turn out to be a fairly decent piece. From there we're going to shape it. We're going to move on over to the flat lap. I don't use a traditional rotary style cab machine. I use a flat lap because I do a lot of different face polishes as well. But we're going to get that all polished up and see how it turns out. All right, let's go. All right, so now we have our slab cut, and I have to pick out what would be the best spot to make the cabochon from. So this is actually a really decent piece. I don't see any fractures, nothing. Very crazy patterns on this side, so I think this is going to be our face side. And to maybe capture it all, I think I'm going to do more of a teardrop, pear shape, whatever you want to call it. So let's just do a little freehand here. And again, I'm just trying to make a rough pattern, just so I can help shape it. So yeah, I think that's going to turn out pretty decent. All right, so we got it all cleaned up on the saw, and I think it turned out pretty decent. Won't have to do too much grinding around the edges just to get the shape even, but I did notice that I cut it slightly thicker on one side, so I'm going to have to grind that down a little bit. But in the time being, while I'm doing that, I'm going to get the dop station all warmed up because I'm going to have to attach a dop stick to it so I can hold it and shape it while it's on the flat lap. All right, we are going to start by flattening the bottom. Then I'm going to shape it just a little bit by hand before I put it on the dop stick and go from there. So another thing I like to do is I like to put just a little bit of a bevel along the edge here. It just helps if you're setting it in a jewelry setting. It just helps to, slide right in place, not get caught on the edges and stuff. I don't know if everyone does this, but I find it to be a little bit more convenient. All right. Okay, so I've had the wax heating up for about 10 minutes now. The stone itself has been heating for about 3 minutes. You always want to make sure that you heat up your stone so that the wax adheres to it a little better. Otherwise, you're going to hit the grinding wheel and that thing's going to go flying. All right, let's get it on here. I always try to center it as best as possible, but again, I'm doing everything freehand, so. All right. Okay, so it is all cooled off, ready to go. We're going to start with an 80 grit, then we're going to move up to a 180 grit, and then we are going to go to 325, 600, 1200, and then finish it off with some diamond paste. So let's make the magic happen. All right, it is all cleaned up. Got the back side sanded down just a little bit more just to give it a nice matte finish. Also touched up the bevel just a little bit as well, just so it looks a little cleaner and it's nice and even, but overall, thickness is perfect. The dome is nice and slightly rounded. And here is the finished product. Awesome patterns. This is going to look great as the centerpiece in a pendant.